All right, here's my new CRF300L Rally. I have, let's see, I just rode home from the dealership, so that was what, 45 miles. It had 44 miles on it at the dealership, so it was like, so basically it has about 50 miles on the clock. So I usually do a oil change pretty, right away. I usually do it like the first 20 miles or so. If it's a brand new bike, usually around 20 miles or so I do it, or as soon as I can, I do it. So that's one. Oh, excuse me. That's one. Another time I do it is usually around 100 miles. That's twice. Then after that, I do the 600 miles, so 3 times. But that's being a little bit too anal, I think. So I'm just gonna do this at 50 miles, then again at 600 miles. Then after that, it's just regular, regular, what is it, 3,000 miles or whatever it is, 4,000 miles or whatever. So I want to do this. One reason why I want to do this is because when it's brand new, it has all the metal particles in the oil from running in when it's breaking in. Those are the metal particles. Most of it will be caught by the oil filter right here. There's an oil filter. Most of it will be, the oil filter will catch. There potentially might be smaller particles that could potentially pass through the oil filter. So basically, yeah, this is why I do this initial change. Is for those smaller particles. And I'm pretty sure once I get the oil out, you will actually see metallic particle in the oil itself. But this oil is actually very clean. Looking at the sight glass, the oil is actually very clean. So it might be kind of hard to see the metallic. So usually when I do this first initial oil change, I don't usually change the filter itself, because the bigger stuff, it catches it all and it's not gonna get clogged. I mean, it's fine for that first 600 miles. So I want to get the finer, smaller particles. So I'm just gonna dump the oil and fill it back up. Leave the oil filter alone, and that's about it. At the same time, I want to add, since this is new, I want to add this in here. This is I guess is a Vortex brand. I didn't even know it was Vortex brand. I thought it was Gold Plug, because the website that I got this from is it's called Gold Plug. And this is made in Wisconsin, so it's made in the U.S. So this oil plug right here is stainless steel, and there's a what is it, neodymium magnet on here, so it'll catch whatever other particles. So that's the other reason why I want to put this in when it's brand new. There's all little particles, and this will catch at least the ferrous metals, the iron particles. It will catch here. So that's the other reasons why I do this. When it's new, I always like to put in a magnetic drain plug. So that's the reason why I do it. So let's look at this thing. Let me lower my tripod just a little bit, a few inches. So this big plug on the back of here, on the clutch lever side, is the oil drain plug. I believe that plug is I think it's a 14, maybe a 12. Let's see, let's stick my wrench in here. Let's see, so I have a 14 right here. Oh, what did I get? Nope, it's not a 14. It's a 12 then. Here, there it is. So yep, it's a 12 millimeter. Oh, it's right there too. You see the socket, the end of the socket. It doesn't go in very far, so that means it's right there. And this is a plastic skid plate. Alright, so let's get that in there. So my engine's warm. So again, I just rode home. Actually, it's been like almost an hour since I got home, so it's cooled down a little bit, but it's still warm though. Still warm to the touch right here. Feeling my hand right there, it's still warm, so that's fine. So I have a big old oil drain. Usually I don't use such a big drain, but this is the first time I've drained this one. I'm not sure how the oil will flow out, and if some of the oil will get caught by the plastic skid pan and drip somewhere else. So you never know. So the first time I'm doing this, I'm gonna use this big pan. Normally on a bike, where I know exactly where the oil flows, I usually just have a tiny little a one, half of a 1 gallon, or maybe a little more than half of a 1 gallon jug, like a milk jug or something like that. It's cut in half. I usually use that. But this bike, I'm not sure again with the oil pan where the, let's see, what's the bolt at. There it is, right there. And out, loosen it up. So now I just go in by hand, and I just need to do this real fast, otherwise oil will get everywhere when I pull out the plug. Okay, I got it. There it goes. Oh, okay, it went straight out. There's no, it's very clean. Oh, I could see the metallic already. Oh yeah, I could definitely see the metallic. So I'm gonna set this plug aside and save that. Put in my box of parts for this bike. I have a box of parts for all my bikes. Every bike I have, because I always do different modifications and such. So I have a box for each bike with all the parts when I take things out, whatever. Yeah, I can definitely see the metallic. It's kind of hard for you guys to see because it's the reflection. Actually, you can actually see right here. See that? See the swirling right there? All right here. So that's the metallic. Angle it differently so that way you don't have all that glare. So there you go. Yeah, you can see the metallic. All right here, you can see the swirling of it. It's metallic in the oil. Again, you see this occurs most when the engine is brand new. So wipe down my parts here, wipe down all the stuff while I'm letting that drip out. So one of the things I do also, and then let it finish dripping. Oh man, got a runny nose. It's been cold this past week or so. We finally have a real storm come in this past week. Actual winter storm, so the air's been real cold and everything's been real cold. So normally, you should replace this every time, but I think I'm gonna reuse this one. I think this one's okay for you to use. Usually, this is a sealing washer, commonly called a crush washer because it's aluminum, so it's soft. So when you torque the bolt down, this will actually crush down a little bit, right? And that because it's aluminum soft, it will conform to the surface both sides. That's how it seals. Because if this was steel, it wouldn't conform. It would just stay whatever. And there could be tiny little gap there. That's no matter how minute the oil will work its way out. But since this is soft, it contours to the shape, the surfaces, and that's how it seals. Usually with these things, you could use it. You could actually use it twice. It's a good idea to change it every time, but you could use it twice. Some people don't know any better, and they keep on reusing it over and over again. The thing about a crush washer, what a lot of people don't understand is that crush washer, when you tighten it up and it crushes, you can actually feel that. You feel it crushing down. So basically, when you do the first time, it's very obvious. The feeling is very obvious, or should be very obvious. Then after that, when you do the second time, you can still feel it slightly, a little bit. But after the second time, that's it. You can't feel it anymore. And because a lot of people use this thing over and over again, that right there, that feeling of the crush washer crushing down, that gives you your feedback on how much you could torque. So that way you could actually get away with torquing this without using a torque wrench. And I don't recommend a torque wrench. People, you see this so much on on the forums and stuff. People using a torque wrench on this, and they way over torque it, and they strip the case, and you're screwed. When you strip that, you have to replace the case. I mean, I guess it's possible you could drill it out and put a heater coil or something like that on it, but a lot of times you can't, and you have to replace the case, and that's a lot of money. So that's a good reason to replace this every time, especially if you don't have the feel yet. But I've been doing this for a while, even though I haven't done this in a while, because lately I have an electric bike that I use for commuting, so I haven't changed oil in it's been like a year since I changed oil. So that's normally I change oil because I have so many bikes and I ride so many of them. I change oil almost every month on a different bike. But anyways, so now you see it's slowly dripping. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna level out the bike and let the oil drip out some more, and And a lot of people don't do this, but I do. Again, I think it's just my OCD, my OCD nature. Let me see how. Let's see. I'm not sure if the oil is gonna leak out or not if I stand it up straight. Let's see. There it goes. See that? I'm not sure if that came from the engine or the skid pan. So I'm leaning it to the throttle side. Now I'm centering it back up and leaning it back to the clutch side. Oh yeah, that's coming from the skid pan. That's not from the most of that oil that you see right there. That's not from the it's not directly from the hole, the drain hole. It's actually dripping from drain hole. It's running from the drain hole over into the onto the drip pan, the skid pan. Then it drips down. So I'm glad I did that. At least now I know. Let's see. I can actually see it from right in here. Let me see if you guys can see this. Right in the little crack right there. Right in there. See that? You actually see the oil right in there dripping down from the hole, and it drips onto the skid pan, the skid belly on the bottom. And you can see it dripping right there. See that? So now it's dripping again. So I'm gonna straighten, stand the back up again and lean it to the throttle side. So I do this a few times. So now it's on the throttle side. So nothing moving. Straighten it back up. I slowly do this. Just to give the oil a chance to flow. Okay. There you go. So again, most people don't do this. I have a tendency to do stuff like this because I'm I have a little bit of an OCD. So that's my OCD kicking in. I notice that as I get older, my OCD is actually it's not as bad as when I was younger. When I was younger, I was way more OCD than I am now. So let's do it again. So I usually do this until the dripping stays dripping instead of flowing. See like that, how it's flowing. I want to go until it just when I do it back and forth, it's just dripping down. Then that's when I stop. That's good enough. So like this, it still has, there's still some oil in there. So yeah, it definitely has. I could definitely see the metallic. You guys saw that too in the reflection. The swirling, the swirling of the. You can actually see it on the camera. Actually, I can actually see it better on camera than I could with my naked eyes. Somehow the camera is picking up the those reflections a little bit better than the naked eye is. See, oh, still running. So that that less this time, right? So do that a few more times until it stops. So let me do that off screen, so you guys don't have to watch 20 minutes of or 10 minutes of me tilting the back and forth. All right, so I'm back. So I tilted a few, like 3 or 4 more times. So now it's just dripping up by it only. So I'm gonna stick this in here, and I'm gonna wipe down the as best I can. Wipe down where the bolt, where the bolt, where the hole is, a flat spot, where the bolt head would bottom out against. So I can feel this right here. Okay, I feel it right there. Feel that hole. My power on there should be clean. I mean, this is a brand new bike, so everything should be clean. Oh man, the plate's kind of in my way. I can't really like move around the way I would like. But that's all right. So here's my new plug, and the new plug comes with a washer. But like I said, I'm gonna use the old washer, the original washer. And I just save this for next time. Should be the same, right? Same thread pitch and everything. So there it is. Even the height is about the same except for the magnet sticks out a little bit further. Right. So thread pitch and everything's the same. Right. Oh, that's a pretty strong magnet, so that's good. I like that. So this crush washer wasn't actually screwed on that tight, and I could tell because it wasn't actually. When you crush down, you can actually see the crush. How it's crushed, and you can see the indentation, but it's very light. So that's good. That means whoever put it on didn't over tighten it. All right. So let's see. Let's put this in. Feel for that hole. There it is. So that head is a 17 millimeter, I believe, with that bolt. So put this in here. 17 millimeter socket. Okay. Oh, that felt weird. That was weird. Let's see. That felt really odd. Something's like resisting. I wonder if it was my socket kind of it. The socket, this head is so much bigger than the 12 millimeter. I think my head is like sort of in the way of it's like bumping on something. So the feel of it, I felt like when I was turning it, I felt something like bumping on it. It's that was an odd feeling. Oh yeah, it is. I was right. I could feel it. So when I just slightly lowered the socket, just slightly, I could feel it clear the part. So that's interesting. Stick my head in there. Yeah, I can see why I did that. Let me look through the other side from the back side here. See, from this side, I can actually see the nut itself. Let's see. All right, so it's bottomed out. Yep. So I was right. So if I put this socket, if I try to go out of wind, it actually doesn't. It's not able to go out of wind because it's actually hitting the engine case slightly. So it still mostly covers almost the whole boat. I see like if you look at the boat head, it covers. Let me use the proper size here. So you look how this one is, how it's fully in there. The other one, you actually see it kind of like that, where you could barely, where you could still see it's enough where you can still see the six sides on the boat head. So which is fine, you're not. This thing doesn't use a whole lot of torque, so don't worry too much about having the full contact. It's not like you're shooting down like axle bolts or lug nuts or something like that, where you need to have a lot of torque. So here, I'm just gonna feel for it. So I have right here. I'm screwed down. I can feel it. I can feel it crushing a little bit, and right about there. That's it. That's all you need, right? Because you actually feel it as I push it in. I can actually feel it getting tighter and not just tighter, but like the crushing. It doesn't, as it gets tighter, it crushes down a little bit, and it only goes so far where it doesn't really go anymore. And that's what I felt, and that's it. So when you feel it just about not crushing down anymore, that's when you stop. Any more than that, you're just over torquing it, and you're gonna have problems. All right, so that's emptying it out. All right, so I'm gonna leave this here. Whatever extra oil is gonna drip down, no big deal. Let's go raise the tripod a little bit. Go up to the the fuel plug. Let's see, there's any dirt around here. No, it looks pretty clean. There it is. If there is any, just wipe right here. So you don't want to, you know, because when you take this out, you don't want that dirt to end up falling into the fuel hole. So just in case, wipe it down a little bit. Let's see what oil I have. So let's look at my oil. I actually don't have the proper weight oil. So this is the only oil I have on hand right now. So I need to go get some proper weight oil, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna change this again, you know, at 600 miles. So this is my Motu 4-stroke 1060. That's way too thick. 60 is way too thick, and it's winter time right now too. For this bike, Honda only, you know, I think Honda recommends like a 1030, I believe. I would, you know, I'm kind of hesitant to use a 30 weight. Well, maybe winter time is okay, but summertime I wouldn't use a 30 weight. I would use like a 40 weight, 1040. But anyways, like I said, this is the only oil I have on hand right now. So, and I actually, again, this is from when I had a Moto Guzzi. The Moto Guzzi, you know, it's air cool, and that's why it's such thick oil. But I still have, let's see, I have, see, that's one, is that one, oh, I don't even have enough oil. So that's 1 liter, 1 quart over here on this side. The oil is only right here, so I only have like half a liter. So I don't have enough oil, so I do need to go get some more oil. Okay, that's okay. So I have that, but I also have. So this is what I do with new engines as well. I buy this stuff right here. This is a break-in oil. It has a lot of zinc in it. So I always put this in my when I have a brand new engine and brand new bike. I always put this in. It helps with the break-in. So I'm not sure how much of this I should put in. This is a lot. I don't think I'm gonna use this whole thing. Let's see what the instruction says. Directions: add 1 bottle to engine upon initial break-in. So, but you know, but this is meant for like a whole car engine, you know. So like a big old car, you know, that's a lot of freaking oil. That's 1 pint. So actually this and whatever happened in here should be enough to top this or fill up this bike. So anyways, I'm gonna pour this in and pour that in. And I might just put that the whole break-in bottle oil in just because I don't have any freaking more oil. That's my fault right there. Man, that's gonna be thick too, because this right here is already thick. I think the break-in oil is pretty thick too. It feels thick. Yeah, it feels thick. This one, yeah, that's definitely thick. So anyways, top it off, and when you're done, you know, it has a sight glass, so level out the bike. There's a bottom and a top, right? Minimum, maximum. I usually fill it up to the maximum when the bike is leveled. Then I start up the bike for like 30 seconds to let this oil circulate through everything. Then I let it sit for like a minute or so. After that, then I will check the oil level again and top it off if need be. Usually when I do this, when I fill it up to the maximum, then I run it for that 30 seconds and then let it sit for a minute. If I start with the maximum, it usually drops down to about midway or so. So it's usually pretty good with there. Sometimes it drops down a little bit lower towards the low mark, but most bikes, it'll stay within the range on most bikes. So yeah, so I'm just gonna do that off screen. I think you guys seen enough. All right, thanks for watching.